The biggest killer under 50 for men is suicide. And nearly 3/4 of all suicides are men. That statistic should shock you. When you're a young man, you're meant to live your life. It's a lot of men's prime ages. And instead, they're ending their lives. The gynecomastia rate is also up 56%. So that's 1 of every 2 people. I don't think it's a coincidence that addiction is the highest it's ever been. And my generation, Gen Z, is the weakest generation there ever was. The average 14 to 15-year-old guy plays video games 4-5 hours a day, eats the most garbage, disgusting junk food, and doesn't even go outside. So, okay, some of them go outside to play some sports, but that's about it. And how do you know this, you might ask? Although you always say, oh, this generation is weak. But how do you know this? Well, I'm still 15 myself. I just turned 15. I got 2 years of secondary school. I go to school with, there's like 100 people in my year. Do you think I do not know what this generation do on a day-to-day basis? In this generation, if you just go to the gym and do nothing else, you're already ahead of 99% of them. You're seeing these self-improvement YouTubers, and you're seeing all these people your age having a jacked physique. I'm telling you, the average 15 to 14-year-old has none of that going on for them. Anyways, that was a dark tangent talking about suicides and shit. Listen, doesn't mean you're gonna end up like that. That's why in this video we're going over the 3 everyday things that are keeping men weak. Let's get into the video. Number 1 is your diet, and it goes far more than it just being unhealthy. Let me explain this to you. Did you notice how every single food you get, except if it's one ingredient like eggs or chicken, every single food you get, you check the back, it has seed oils. Some kind of seed oils, they'll put it in there. Maybe it's rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, vegetable, any kind of oil, they will still put it in there. And you know how bad seed oils are for you. And not just health, it crushes your testosterone, even more than sugar would, right? And so you might be thinking, if it destroys your health and it crushes your testosterone, why would they give it to us? Now you gotta think, maybe they want to give it to us on purpose for us to destroy our testosterone. And if we go there, you might think, why do they want to crush our testosterone? Testosterone and agreeableness have this opposite effect. The higher your testosterone, the more you're likely to disagree with things and not just agree, right? So we can give a perfect example. I don't want my channel to get banned, but let's say there was a flu, and in that flu you were not allowed to leave your house, right? And there's 2 people, one with low testosterone, one with high testosterone. The low testosterone man gets told that he can't leave the house. Do you think he's going to be like, no, I'm not actually believe it? Or do you think he's just going to sit down like a good boy and stay at his house until the people say it's safe? And you got the high testosterone man gets told the same thing. Do you think he'll do the same thing as a low testosterone man? Or do you think he's more likely to not abide by what they tell him? So they want to keep you weak, unambitious, and just comply by the rules, because those are the easiest to make profits with. So it goes way further than just bad for you. Seed oils equals bad for you. Number 2 is anything that will fry your dopamine receptors. So basically, dopamine is this motivation hormone, and I'm going to just address this common misconception about dopamine. Dopamine is not pleasure. Dopamine is the pursuit to pleasure, right? So a lot of people say eating a chocolate is a quick dopamine hit. Well, it's not actually the pleasure. It's you wanting to eat that chocolate and you do it. So it's basically motivation. You release dopamine when you're doing exercise and any other stuff. It just gets released a lot when you do the bad habits like playing video games, eating junk food, watching. Increases your dopamine so much. And the worst part about dopamine is when, let's say, it goes 2 times above baseline, it doesn't, after the task, it doesn't go back to baseline. It goes below baseline depending on how big the peak was. So maybe it goes 2 times less than baseline. Now do you understand why depression rates are so high? Some people have no color to their life. Like scrolling on social media is a perfect example of this. It's not just, imagine you're scrolling all day, and then you get off, you're like, oh, this is boring. And what app does every single guy in this generation have? Forget guy, every single person in this generation have. TikTok. Anyways, number 3 is apologizing for anything. And okay, apologizing is fine if it is your fault. Just because you apologize doesn't mean you're a weak person. But I'm saying there's people around in this world where they even look in a guy's direction and they say sorry and they apologize. If you apologize for everything that is not even in your control, then people won't respect you. It's simple common sense. And yeah, that's been the end of the video. Let's become strong men again in a weak society. Bye.